Okay, good morning traders, and welcome to the Bookmap Pro Trader webinar series. The last day for this Pro Trader webinar series, it's the last day for our Black Friday sale as well. Let me show you where that is. Just want to mention it here so that you guys know where it is. It's the last day. 50% off. Just go to bookmap.com and click on the image here. It's 50% off for the first month of any monthly subscription of Bookmap. This for first-time users. We put it together so you can try Bookmap and try it at a discount. Get up and running. See if it works for you. It also works for upgrading though. So if you want to upgrade, try it out. Try it for a month. Try Global Plus for a month. Get it at the discount, the same price that you would pay for Global anyway. So why not? Why not upgrade? Anyway, just go to that page last day for it. Last day for the Pro Trader webinar. Today we have JTrader. You guys know who JTrader is. He usually is here Wednesdays and goes through stock trading. I'll put his contact information into the chat for you. We've got to go through the disclosures and then we'll jump into the market here. General disclosures: all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Live trading is in simulation, demo, paper trading mode and strictly for educational purposes. Live trading executed in simulation cannot accurately represent realistic trading performance. Risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. An investor could potentially lose all or more than the initial investment. Risk capital is money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security nor lifestyle. Only risk capital should be used for trading, and only those with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, and there's our Black Friday image here as well that we just went over. Okay, so as we're waiting here for Joseph, we have a few minutes to go through the markets. This is typically what we do on Wednesday, so it's good. It gives a good overview first of what's going on in the markets, and then we can turn it over to Joseph. Guys, I mean, you can see this massive drop here. This is non-farm. One of the most important economic news releases every month. So you can see that it was a pretty big down move and just hovering around this 4,000 number here. And then we see a back and forth in here, basically. Just markets trying to figure it out, looks like. The numbers were good. So, numbers are good, but just means that the Fed may increase their rates or whatever. I mean, like, you guys know the game, the fundamentals behind this. This is how it works. If it's good data, it might be bad for the markets. So that's what traders think here. It means that the Fed is likely to raise rates. We can see the price action here directly in Bookmap and what the market thinks of that data. And note that the income also for what was it called? The unemployment rate was the same, but the hourly average hourly earnings was bumped up quite a bit. Also for the previous release, it was as well. So that just means more inflation, basically. So that means the Fed will tighten. That's not good for the stock market. And then here's the action that is describing what the market thinks of it here. Anyway, big drop, and we're just kind of chopping around within it. Guys, even within this kind of drop here, these really quick drops in here, there's just beautiful market structure in here. And you can see it basically every time. Let's just go through that example because this is a big event here and it defines the market. All right, so everything, in fact, technically, in a lot of cases, is kind of blown out of the water. It is redefined now due to the economic release. All right, so what do I mean by that? Well, look at this high liquidity here at 40.50, right into it and right through it. Okay, so there's more selling pressure than there is liquidity here. Many times what we see is it bumps into this liquidity and bounces right back up to the other side and maybe to the other side of this liquidity way up here at 41.12 or wherever it is up here, 41.20. So in this case, there's just a lot more selling. So it goes to the next level of liquidity, goes to the next level of liquidity. And bounces around, continues on down, and does not trade into the 4,000 level, but it gets down pretty low. Beautiful algo right there. Trying to now they're probably no. It looks no. They got filled. They got filled. So this guy's screwed. He's basically trying to get out of the market and chasing. A lot of times we say this looks like an ignition algo. It's the kind of behavior to try to skew the auction to get price to go lower, and ignite stops below some certain areas. In this case, it looks like this algo saw the price action going down, and it's like, well, I need to get out of the market and chased. So anyway, because they got filled. Right, that's the only way I kind of determine it in here. You can see that they stayed in the market and they got filled in here, right? So if it's an ignition algo, they usually pull it away and don't get filled, right? They're just trying to skew the auction. Let's take a look at this and the structure from the event. All right, we're going to talk about the market structure. Here it is, right here, 40.50. Let's draw up some lines. A nice one there, and then let's take a look at some other structural areas. This one here looks pretty nice as well. I know that it was liquidity here that got filled, but let's just draw up a couple lines. And I don't want to draw too many lines in here, and we want to look for pullbacks. Where are these pullbacks going to happen? Okay, and I didn't. You saw me go back and forth in here, but I wasn't looking at something specific in here. I was just looking at the structure, and I know that the market is going to react to that structure on the way back, because this is where the sellers came in yet again. So the buyers tested it up here. There was still more selling. Well, buyers finally had enough in here and lifted it through that area and came back to the next area up here. All right, so guys, when you look at your order flow, you can start to look at and understand the structure and where that liquidity is getting filled and where those transactions are taking place. It offers a really nice areas for managing your trades. Basically, I mean, it's just market structure. All right, so now you could also look at just heavy transactions. Like this up here, it typically revolves around high liquidity. Now, we never came up here to 65, but these kinds of areas would be the areas you'd be looking for that structure. In fact, you see a little bit of a pullback here to it already. Okay, so beautiful move here, yeah, this is right after the data. Okay, here. And then a very quick pullback here to this little structural area here. See how we're just not making that stuff up. It's right there. So this can help set guidelines for you, and then these guidelines are where you want to look at the order flow around them to understand where you might find opportunities. Okay, so anyway, yeah, take a look at that. You can see how this has defined this whole move so far, and it's still playing around within that area, as you guys can see. I think I hear Joseph
Good morning, Bruce.
There he is. How are you, Joseph?
Good, buddy. How you doing?
I'm doing well, doing well. So let me turn it over to you. You got your stream up already. Great. Let's pop it out. There it is. And okay, you're all set.
Okay, good morning, traders. So, Pro Trader webinar series. First of all, Bruce, just came over here. What were you talking about? Yes, or something else?
Yeah, I mean, since you're with your group typically in the morning and you come in a little bit late, it's kind of nice actually for us because what we do is we kind of set we go over the general markets like the stock indexes, like the ES typically, and just kind of outline certain areas. And then you come in with very specific stocks that kind of tangentially relate to that market structure.
Okay, perfect. So over here, I prepared this for us today, but I want to go over before the market. Then, if we have time, we can go over this. So, market today, over here, just looking 1 second at ES. So we had the data. 8:30 came the data. So that day with Powell, we came up around 140 points. Now back this morning down 80 points. So always remember, it's not a market for swinging, first of all. Second, this morning, I'm still waiting for an opportunity to trade big caps like I want. After this big news over here, after the data actually, we have a pullback, and for me, it still didn't happen an A+ setup. I've been trading this morning tops. Boards were a little bit expensive, but we started short over here 615. Never had re-add to load the boat on this. Also, some brokers had the bars over here on threshold, so that you can use only once. ADXL is a nice small cap. Data seem very, very good, but reading more attentively is not that good. This morning, I said long pre-market and then start looking for a short. Reason why we'll see it later. Bookmap over here was the timing. On tops over here was the timing. Now, let's start over here with tops, which is the stock that actually we traded. The stock over here, and I'm gonna start putting up Bookmap. This stock over here traded a massive amount of volume. So this morning you can see over here started from the 370, 380, push over here to the 490, so almost $1 dump. This moment over here, we saw a huge sell-off. You can see over here, simply instantly, huge sell-off to the VWAP. Then over here started to push consolidation between 485 and 515. And then over here, breakout. High volume over here, and then pushing to the 620. So over here, I started seeing like an interesting pattern of distribution. So this is what I like, distribution pattern. I started seeing lower highs, higher lows, lower highs, higher lows. So I started shorting into this area. And at the gate, we start having simply a dump over here. So somebody over here was starting to sell. I had orders ready over here into 620, 630. Of course, didn't get filled. My point over here today was for a short. So I was looking for the short with the blow up. And this was the reason. So day 3, focus on volume and supply area. Plan looking for an opening pushing the 6650, which was this level over here of heat map. Looking for that rejection TP 450 for today. So looking only for a short. That was my plan. Plan unfortunately didn't happen because we didn't have the push. So we only started having over here a seller. So down from $6 into this liquidity area here. You can see right away reclaim 480 back into this area. So I started with shorting a little bit more over here, not full size, and add to the trade because we were topping out to this 550. And over here you can see they pushed first, second push, third, and then the last one over here, right? So the last of the buyers over here, they've been like rejected from this point, and then they started like to dump. And you can see over here now we have a ton of overhead supply. So let's look at tops. So tops over here has a small float around 2.8 million. Float, a short float about 12%. No SSR. We have over here top is a day 3. So remember the reason why this is up. And we can also look at let's look over here at the daily chart. But when I look at the stock, I see a stock that likes to extend and then eventually sold off. Over here, extension with even some decent amount of volume, then started to sell off. And then over here today could be the first day that we actually start like unwinding. We'd like to see a level over here today of target around this 450, 430. That was my target because over here we have some very good demand zone. And also I double check that and start looking these points also with Bookmap. And I've been looking for that 450 today if we're going to stay with these lower highs, lower lows. So for now, you can see a sideways action. So not really interested in adding over here. Ads will be if we can push around 550 to this area and then looking for this unwind. You can see this is day 3, right? So day 3 of a small cap plan. Day 1, day 2, day 3. So I'm actually looking for a push over here to short. Hmm. Well, one tip over here, if you look at the price action in the last days, never short this on the weakness. It will trap you. If you start shorting this early, like here, like in this case over here worked because eventually we had over here the dump. But if you start shorting this early, it traps you and pushes. So look over here, start shorting, then pushes back up. So don't short below the VWAP. This is a common mistake. Like over here, you start shorting below VWAP, don't do it, okay, because then it traps you and it pushes. And then eventually today, you can see as well, you start shorting below VWAP and then it pushes. So try to avoid, okay, avoid shorting below VWAP, but shorting to a resistance. So what I do is I look for levels and then I start using Bookmap for timing my entries, okay? So we're gonna look over here if we can have a possible re-entry, add to our position. Over here, a little bit of 520, some more at 530, but the level that I really want is this 550. So I want to see this level over here of resistance, and only this level into that rejection, I want to add over here short in my position. After traders, we're going to also revisit over here our playbook trade on RMED, okay, and how to use Bookmap together with the chart pattern that I teach to short. So this is a good work over here from Pierre. Perfect, respecting the setup. And again, over here, plan I think was on point because we were looking, before I shared tops, and tops we were looking for a short. ADXL, we were looking for a short. Over here, you can see, looking for a gap and crap, and a fail. And then over here with RMED, looking to short this 430, 450 area with target 350. 430, 450, looking now for this target 350. So very, very precise pattern over here. RMED worked, ADXL worked, tops work, EOC, we had a early phase, so no plan. What I'm looking here, traders, is this, exactly this play. And I'm seeing Bookmap over here, exactly this play. Okay, so that's the high liquidity over here, 550. And that's that resistance that was over here supply, and pre-market was over here demand zone. And they're still holding over here 515, so not really interested in the price section of this right now. So here again, tops, high liquidity over here 6, more over here stack at 550. And another small one over here, smaller one over here around 525 till 530.
Yeah, great heat map.
Yep, yep, beautiful, beautiful. You can see over here, Bruce, that in pre-market, somebody was guiding up our stock here, here. So they were showing over here some resistance, right? But you know, buyers were grabbing the dips over here, so moving up, moving up. Then over here again, giving a liquidity area, because remember, we have also resistance from the previous days, weeks. And then at this point, you can see somebody was guiding this down. I mean, this was very, very clear over here. Gonna zoom out. Okay. So you can see, traders, this is really what I want to see. So all this zone over here, we have buyers. You can see here, liquidity moving up, moving up. So we have buyers stepping in. Now I'm watching for that 530 because we're pushing right now. Over here, you can see seller pushing this down. And now we're getting to this 550. So let's look for that liquidity into the 550.
Joseph, when you get a chance to maybe go back to that area, there's some really great stuff in there.
Yeah, but let's look over here
Sure,
for
sure.
the level of liquidity we're interested in. So I'm looking over here, zooming out this 550. You can see pretty good volume over here. They're starting push. Average is high because right now average is 565. We had an average this morning of around 615. Then we added into the 533. I shared the chart in my room, but I will reshare after in the Bookmap room. And what we're looking over here is this this point, okay, this 550 previous resistance. Let's see if we can get through there for a short. Somebody over here, you can see traders, they sold into this 538, but somebody over here absorbing at this level over here, 530. So there's a possibility over here this will push still up 550. So often you will see that they break down the support on purpose and then they push this back up. For now, there is sustained volume. Means somebody is pushing, 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 pushing. So I see this at 550s. Remember, it's a day three. So they like to trap below the VWAP, which is this red line over here. So all the price over here below VWAP, it's a big trap. And I never like to short below the weakness, into the weakness over here below the VWAP, never. Unless, I have a big fader that is just like showing over here a huge amount of selling pressure, and I just simply have to ride the trend down. Oh, you can see a dip over here below the 530. Now reclaim, and there's a possibility over here it goes 550. I see this often. This is a highly chance for a push over here to 550. Highly chance over here for a push. Okay, so I'm gonna put over here so that you can understand possible bear trap. It washed over here. Let's see. I'm not shorting over here this point. Let's see if they're gonna make this even dirtier over here or just simply unwind. Okay, good. $5. Perfect. We're still holding 565 average, so good. So we want to see now a fill below that support of 480, which is this level over here of liquidity. Now the structure of this this stock, this over here is our support for 80, for 85. And a lot of traders ask me, Jay, but I see over here a lot of sellers at this lows. Don't get me wrong, there are sellers, but also these sellers are bought back up. The bigger these dots, the more absorption happens. So we have over here a buyer that jumps in every single time that we touch this level. All right. So that means that if we short into this area, we have a high chance to get trapped and squeeze up. And what I'm looking for is that I'm looking to short into this resistance, as I said, or into this area over here. Because if I short high, my risk is very low. If I short low, my risk is very high. After this, we'll review today traders RMED, also AVXL, Tesla. We had a lot of plays. The first day since I think June or July that we're having 4 small caps into the watch list. My watch list this morning was Amazon, Meta, Tesla, yes, and 4 small caps. Small caps worked 3 out of 4. The fourth one we didn't trade. Big caps over here, no A+ setups. We had only some scalps. ES gave us an A+ setup in pre-market, 830. I don't know if before Bruce was covering, but that 830 liquidity over here into that demand zone over here was simply amazing. Amazing. This one over here. So let's go back to tops. $504. this point, we have to drop over here. I mean, we have to drop.
Yeah.
There's like the B.
Sorry.
Okay, so about the pre-market, we can review it now. So this is, we don't know exactly if these are algos traders. It's highly possible that it's an algo or somebody simply like trying to push this down. A stair step down pattern, I like to call it this since years. You can see this fraction of time is 30 seconds. In 30 seconds, we have this dumping. You can see over here, they create this massive dump from this 630 down over here to 585. Okay. All right, let's look over here because we're back to
Yeah.
the lows.
When you have a chance, Joseph, I'd still like to just point something out there.
Okay, sure. Let's look over here, traders. We're having an important level. This is the low that happened from the open. So we're getting to the low. So I want to see over here. It's absorbing again. You can see absorbing again. And we start to see some green over here, some bars again. So it absorbed every single time that we get to this bottom. That's the reason why you don't short breakdowns in this market, especially in small cap land. Okay, let's go back over here. Bruce, here we are.
No, I mean, just something we've seen so many times again and again that may be helpful for traders about, just go back a little bit, like scroll back a little bit. Yeah. So, I mean, obviously lots of buyers coming in, hitting into high liquidity. Okay. Now price is pretty high. And then look how they're supporting it underneath, like around that 6. Oh, yeah, right in there. This is pretty typical to push price up into specific areas. And you can look for these kinds of things at the end of runs. So, and you can see that high liquidity there kind of layered in, Joseph, around 21, no, above that, just to the left, upper left corner of that. No, right in there, yeah. See how they're starting to get filled, not there, to the left a little bit more.
Oh, okay, here.
Yeah, and that high liquidity in there kind of looks like a spoof in there, but you know, it looks like they're getting filled. So as soon as they are in, they're pulling on the bid, and they're just, look at them being very aggressive on the offer. So this, you'll see this kind of behavior at highs, and I just wanted to point that out. And for all markets, I think it works even better for stocks.
Well, I've seen this pattern so many times on extension plays.
Exactly.
So many times. And it's a pattern that I teach in the room that I trade often in the pre-market. And happens when I see, a lot of exhaustion, really when there's this shift between over here, who is pushing this up, and then there's a shift. At this point, there's a shift. This point, there's a shift. Over here, where they go? They're like canceling over here. So they're trying to, hold it up. So ideally, I believe that if it's the same play, ideally, if they try to hold this a little bit up, they can sell at higher prices instead of, just like canceling over here and this boom, dumping all at once. The point of over here, the big hands, is to not sell low. The point of the big hands is to sell high. So they're trying this, and I believe if they have enough liquidity trapped, they can give us a little bit of more squeeze today. Because over here, we have to consider, Bruce, not only this price action, but we have to consider over here a bigger picture. And the bigger picture is given from this runner, which is a 3-day runner over here. And we had a first day over here. Actually, this was a second day over here, sorry. So where we had the majority of the liquidity over here, traded at this point. So we are now just at that point. That's a critical area. And the volume is still there. The volume is still there. So that's a critical area. Below this area over here, we can call it the high volume node. It can unwind over here to the low volume node into the 350 area. So we have to look for this today. It's going to be very, very interesting. To me, it's one of the best stocks to trade because there's a ton of liquidity. A ton of liquidity. Right now, I'm sorry, it's trading, it's going to go probably today for 35 millions. And this is an amazing one. Then we had over here XPEV. So I wanted to cover this, but later. And it's like days and days that are trapping everybody over here. Today, 51 million volume. It's just like pushing up. It's halting several times. 6.5 billion company. So traders think that because this is a $12 stock, it's a small cap. No, this is a medium large cap. All right, 6 billion, 7 billion over here. So they're actually having entrapped traders all these days over here in a massive squeeze today. Okay, so I'm not really looking for trading this today. As I said, we are on the easy one, stops, RMED, ADXL, right? ADXL. Let's go over to RMED over here and how to trade this. So I think this resembles what we had today. And the reason why over here, I had it this morning. Maybe it might be a rabbit to me. So we're gonna go in 2 seconds and look RMED. RMED is not a day one. Over here, we have RMED over here exactly. And it has some very good stats. So we have 7 gaps with at least 2 million volume traded and 71% close right on the day. As you can see, traders, the stats over here, this is a micro flow, 2 million, right? So you can see over here on the first, we had a push pump. Then over here, we had a starting of a high volume, okay, yesterday. And then over here this morning, we had a pop and fail. And we can see this over here, right? So a push over here was into the fib retracement. And then looking short cover, looking for that main unwind. The short in a 430, 450, as was our plan. Our met over here was this. Okay. So point over here of pre-market going to that 450. This is the area that I wanted to short, that I was saying an alert to short. So I wrote in pre-market to look for this area. I wrote it around, I think, much before this time. Let me see over here. Our med, I wrote it at 637. And I said to look for 450. This is my time. Sorry, this is a New York time. 6:30 is my time in Italy. And this over here is 8:16. 8:16, we had a push. So about 2 hours before I alerted this stock to trade at this point. Came down over here, and I saw over here sellers. Huge amount of liquidity. Sorry, Bruce, tell me.
Joseph, it's pretty blurry screen. I don't know if maybe you're at 1080p, but maybe the frame rate is very high.
No, it's 15. I think Bruce is fine for everybody.
Huh.
Are you sure it's not only by your side?
It might be on my side. I don't know, but it looks kind of blurry. Anyway, continue on. So if you're at 15, there's not much more we can do.
Yeah. So over here we have this push over here. So exhaustion of the move. Yeah, traders are saying over here it's a little bit blurry. So let's see if I can. Let's see if I can fix this. Let's try to close some of these.
I don't think it's so much that, yeah, I mean, you can try closing those at not
Let's see if it is gonna
the
be better.
resolution's great and it was very readable and everything. It's just a bit blurry.
I'm checking over here again, double checking. Discord.
You can try 60 if you want.
Let's see again over here. Let's see if it's better. So let's go back on our over here on our med.
Yeah, look, that looks good when you zoom in.
Okay, so over here we had a push into this high liquidity area for 50. Why this area? Because it's an area of supply. So once I go and check this area for 50, you can see over here that we have a fib level, but plus also we have all these stops. So previously we pushed into this 440, 450 area. Now, the second thing over here is the entry A plus after the gate. So at 9:30, we have a push over here to the 450. And you can see over here, there's no more liquidity, no more any buyer. And right away over here starts stopping. And then we start seeing like some jumping in. But I don't want the traders to get me wrong. I don't suggest you to trade short down here or down here into this liquidity. I like to see, really look over here for the read of the order flow. And I'm checking my levels. If I see that level cannot be breached, that 450, and I see rejection, what remembers over here to me is I just need to short. Tight risk, looking for at least 4-hour return, and boom, dump. And that's, you can see, from the push 450 down over here to 390. Remember, my target today was 350. 350. Okay. So again, I didn't say this half that happened. I said this at 6:30 New York time, looking for the fib zone 350 and looking for that level, exactly 350 on the point. Boom. So all wins today on small cap land and closing the week with 90% win rate on these. So pretty good. Now, what I'm looking over here, I'm looking to react to the trade. No, just simply waiting. Tops, I share my chart also in Bookmap. We're short 565. We started short up here. Now it's 470. This is a massive one. And you can see I was looking over here for 550. Then I have that re-add, or actually, then I have that add. And then now it's still dumping over here. And sellers are just like pushing this down. You can see over here, breaking on the support. And once they break the support, everybody getting stopped out over here. So if we have the sweep indicator, you will see also shorts jumping in, but also you will see over here longs getting stopped out. What do you think about this, Bruce?
These examples today, Joseph, are excellent. I mean, the heat map is just beautiful in these examples.
Exactly. I really like this price section today. I would say it's not hard to read this if you know the chart patterns, if you know how to read the order flow. Okay, so now we're going to look for what target traders. Let's look together here. I'm gonna put over here tops and tops over here. The area that I want is 420. So we're going to look for ideally that level. Mhm. No way, I'm delayed. Just patience on this one. I want to just look at this for the next 5-10 minutes, and then we're going to review over here Tesla together. Yeah, just easy fader for now. Just look at these times in sales, all sellers over here. Rolling down, a little bit more. 460 over here. Main level of support. Now we're looking for 4. So what I'm going to do over here, traders, right now, managing my position, bringing down my trail. So from 565 that we had, and I'm going to bring down my trail over here to 505. So now trail 505 on tops. We also have in still our med partial 350 because it still can unwind till 3. So our med so now we're looking for what? We're looking for 3. Next TP. So let's put over here our med. Okay, nothing over here. All right, time to look over here at Tesla. I need to tell a few things about Tesla. All right, first of all, I'm gonna put this Tesla here. I'm gonna put this over here. Right, so Tesla this morning, put it from here. Let's see, Tesla. Oh, it's not loading. So this is Tesla's of today. This is one of the best stock that I usually trade. Big caps, I like to focus on Tesla, Meta, Amazon generally. The system works pretty good on this. For now, sorry. For now, what I'm looking over here is to simply avoid these setups. We are in a sideways range. If you look at the 1 minute, seems everything fine, but if you look over here, the 5 minutes, we are inside this range, okay? So we are inside this range. Now, this is the first moment that I'm starting to look for a possible trend, maybe ideally afternoon. If we can have this trend line break, and then we'll be looking for a rejection short, okay? We're inside the previous day range. You can see over here, we're still inside this previous day range. We have a massive demand over here, 190. If you can look at Bookmap, you will see the 190 over here. A massive support. You can see over here, 100,000 already placed over there. Personally, this morning, I had two stop of 15 and 20 cents on Tesla, and I didn't really trade this anymore. I mean, I like to trade Tesla on these days over here, where we had a perfect long over here, and this was also a perfect under-over. So I like this kind of trading. I try to avoid days where I have Tesla going sideways, rejection, bounce, rejection, bounce. It's still good for scalping, but it's not, my favorite type of trading. A few things over here that we can look with Bookmap, especially this level over here. At this point, remember at 954, so exactly at this low, 191 and 90 over here, we had a bear trap. You can see the price got to the level of open. Okay, this is the open level, exactly here. The price over here was dumping. So we had a huge amount of sellers, right? And I was looking over here for long into this dip, big amount of buyers. Just after the bear trap, you can see over here sellers and then reversing. So over here, there's a shift between supply and demand. Buyers stepping in, no more sellers. I just missed it like for a few seconds. I was just looking at something else, actually tops. So I missed a long over here. Why this long? For one particular reason over here. I'm gonna say this over here. So I was saying over here this morning, you can see, again, 6:28, so pretty early. Then I added, I think, around 8:30 after that data, I had to change the plan. And I said, or I'm looking for a trade, okay, short, but this will be out of the previous day range, or I'll be looking for a long on a fake breakdown. Fake breakdown. What is this? That's your fake breakdown. That is, right away I fill the support. The support is the open level. So a very important area from red to green and green to red. In this case, you can see it goes red and then right away green. So there's like an under over in this point. And then over here, we really have the shift on Bookmap. And this was crazy good, really crazy good. one of the best setups that we can trade right now on big caps. Rather than that, I didn't have any other setups on Tesla for the day. So one and perfect. Did I trade it good? No, I actually missed it. So not always traders you will find, the trade, or when you will find it, not always you will take it.
Joseph, a question on that. If you could talk a bit about maybe trade management, like that's such a good example in Tesla, and you're an expert in trading Tesla. I'm wondering if you change, or you want to talk about staying with your trade management or your trade sizing, or if you see something like that, would you go in bigger?
You meaning that exact setup that we saw?
Yeah, I mean, like maybe that exact setup, or like when you see something and you just know, like I mean, you never know in the markets, right? But like you have a pretty good feeling that, like based on your expertise and your strategies, and seeing it a million times, that you would. Some traders do this, others don't. They go in bigger.
Well, loading the boat, I call it. Yes. If I have a low risk, if I know that there's a high chance that the stock will work or the position will work, yes, I can load the boat. So adding more on my side. But I always have, I always will respect the risk. So no matter what, even if I load the boat, I will respect my risk.
So your
And for me, the
risk.
lower the risk, the higher the size I can put.
Okay, so I mean, you would still go with your what if it's like 1%, 2% of your account, whatever. You would still go with that risk reward.
I can add more of my account, yes, but I will still stay with my dollar risk per day. So with my max risk, I never change that.
I see. Yeah, it was really great. We got into some nuances with some of your traders, and they kind of scaled into a trade, and it looked like, well, it's going against them, I'm going to add more. It just looked like the kind of classic type of mistake.
Mhm.
Instead, you said no. He's extremely disciplined, and he gets a lashing basically if he doesn't follow his rules. He was only in a quarter of his position on one of the pullbacks. He
Yeah,
added the rest when it pulled back deeper,
hmm,
which was
exactly.
just great to hear. And that you're all
Exactly.
over them if they don't follow those rules.
Yeah, because I would say I try and I think I've been like doing a great job on giving an imprinting to traders of how they have to make their process from the plan preparation, the the trading, the risk management, also the asset allocation. So how much size to allocate for each trade they take, and also based on the risk they want to keep for a day and per trade. So the traders that come out from I would say from my mentoring are essentially full traders at 360 degree. What I mean by that is that they can trade on their own, and they can actually do this also for a living. So that is the kind of job we're doing with a lot of traders. And this comes only if you work on all sectors of your trading, which is not only strategy, which strategy includes your plan, includes your like chart patterns, your order flow reading, but it's also about risk management. It's also about mental approach, and this also means self-control into the market. What I wrote today over here is my trading plan for success. And the first part that is sent over here is about finding your strategy. Could be swing, day trading, scalping. Of course, in order to do this, you also have to analyze the market, analyze the data, back test, and journal. So you have to find out which patterns will occur over time. For example, just a fake breakdown that we see just like a few minutes ago, Bruce. And then also, it's easy to recognize that pattern over time, but it's hard to trade it. Sometimes you will anticipate, sometimes you'll be late. It takes even, a couple of years to become expert in timing. It's not something that right away you will be, connected to that. Is it clear, Bruce?
Well, yeah. I mean, maybe I can kind of I conclude or like put together like in general what you mean is have realistic expectations here. You jump into maybe you go and study like a bull flag pattern, or you look at your fib levels, or you trade volume profile or whatever it is, bouncing off your moving averages like you do. Then but your expectations are, oh, I've got it, I'm a smart guy, like I'll study it for a month and then I'll just throw money at it. And you're saying like, no, it takes some years to like get into the nuances and understand the timing and just I think it's really important people have expectations that are just way out of line in trading. Like they're going to be trading from the beach within a couple months, and doubling their account like every week or something.
Yeah, it's a nice dream. I mean, a professional trader doesn't think about that. That's, just like, it's just a dream. A real trader gets up every morning early, or if he's in Europe, he's lucky. He trades, he has tough days, bad times. Of course, you can make a ton of cash, more than the majority of the jobs out there, but you have to become good. I was saying, just like these days over here to a trader. I mean, I can share over here. So this is the job that we're doing together. In this case over here, he has futures. This is one of the traders that I'm following. And this month, he's been doing this. Okay, so he's up, I think, around 14,000 for the month. And he has to grow. He has a very high win rate, very good system. Use Bookmap on a daily basis, especially we look for rejection bounces. So, it's a steady and a great approach. The point is, there are a lot of things besides the strategy and practice strategy beyond, this this P&L over here. And this is one. There are traders who are up almost 7 figures for the year that I'm following. But the point is, you have to become consistent, and consistency takes time because it's all based on your, I would say, confidence. If I'm not confident with something, I cannot add size to the trade. And of course, I cannot simply start to put more money in to make more money. Okay. The other thing is study how you can improve your strategy. For example, when I started, I didn't know about Bookmap. That was a tool that I added a second time. And it's something also, an experiment that I did with a lot of traders who started without and then putting in a second moment also Bookmap in their plan. And their trading got so much better. I would say for 80% of the traders, they simply love the tool. Study how to improve your personal trading. So timing, emotion, risk management. Then after consistency, so once you reach that consistency, when you can be like green every single day, the goal is to add size. There are many ways that I add size with traders that I follow, that I mentor, and it's also based on their personality, their approach, their goals. Not everybody can, I would say, add size that quick, like every 2 or 3 weeks. Some traders will take much more. Some instead can add even more every single goal they meet. And this is, I would say, personal. That's the reason why when you look to mentor a trader, you have to know not only his technical approach, but also his mental approach his background, everything about him. Management of capital, I think, is one of the most important thing. I tell you this, Bruce. Talking to so many traders, this is something that nobody considers. Like the fact, each month we're out. Anything can happen in the market. You're in a position, you don't have your dollar risk, or the dollar risk with the broker doesn't work for some reason, and you swipe out like your own account. So we're out consistently. The also thing is know how much size and also how much capital you allocate for each stock or future traded. And this has to be done like in a very precise way. You have to be very analytical in the way that you manage your capital. It's like if we have, like let's say a basket with 10 little breads, we have 10 kids and we have to divide them in equal parts, all right? Of course, it'll be the kid that maybe goes also do sports, he needs a little bit more. The kid who doesn't do sports, maybe is a little bit fatty, needs a little bit less. And the same way you have to manage your capital, right? So for different, I would say, risk approaches, risk-based approach. And all of this makes you gain experience. And again, experience to repeat all this. And you'll go back and you can add a new strategy, you can practice that, you can become consistent. So you're starting to increase your niche, increase your arsenal over here of strategy that you trade. This is basically, the plan that each trader should have when he starts trading.
Yeah, I mean, it, I really agree. Like that mental capital is so important. I think that you were um, uh, describing something. Maybe it was you, but maybe someone else. However, I know you know this one so well that maybe some traders are they kind of have an idea of the strategy and like, oh, I'll start trading, and they make some money and they do pretty well trading that strategy, but they haven't really dug in deep to research and gain experience with that strategy, and then they have one big losing day. Now they're scared. They don't trust the strategy anymore, and they've lost their edge and their mental edge. Basically, the edge is still there in the strategy. They just need to do more with it. Or maybe I'm wrong. Tell me about some of your experiences.
Well, first of all, I think it's you have to start, being humble, and you have to start with patience. A lot of traders they don't have patience. They want right away money. They want right away to be, like a good trader, and it takes instead, like I would say lessons. And these lessons you have them only if you experiment everything. Then you also have to trust what you have been studying. You have to trust yourself, you have to trust the process, you have to trust your strategy. If that is, actually back tested and, studied for a long time. Besides this, you also have to have in place everything in your life. Talking with a trader lately, he had no problem in his trading. He knows perfectly how to trade. He's a 6-year figure trader, so he's very consistent since years. And I mentored him like 3 years ago, and now he's on his own. Okay. The point is, something happened like in his life. What happened in his life really disturbed him, like made him upset, and this also had like a bad response to his trading. So he brought, that upset, that overwhelming in his trading, and that had influenced him so much. So for this trader, once he cleared, everything was happening beside his trading in his life, then he was able to regain confidence and consistency. So you see how many things that an expert, an expert trader, okay, so a newbie, a beginner, has to face when he gets to trading. It's not something that easy to have all of this perfect, when you start, because you'll learn a lot of these things with time, with practice and with training.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Well, for example, I mean, I think you're a pretty good model here. Over these years, we've had these discussions again and again. How interesting it is. Like you wake up, you're looking already for something very specific, and that's what
You
you
mean the
do.
breakfast?
What?
You mean the breakfast?
A coffee and a brioche. Yeah, yeah, exactly. No, no. You're looking for your trading patterns, and they work. You know that they don't. It's not 100% of the time, but they work on the overall. And you're looking to trade those. You have pure confidence in them, and just take the trade, because you've done your back testing, you have your confidence in it, you have your experience in it. So you've done all that due diligence, therefore you know exactly what you're looking for,
Yeah,
and as many times as you see it, you will take it.
exactly. Exactly, Bruce. It's just like after repeating over and over the plays, the patterns, your strategy with confidence. That's the best way to trade. All right. I think we can look over here a few seconds and make a recap of what we're having right now. So our med, we had a setup over here shorted for 50. We're going to put over here our med. And again, today traders, I went over so much small caps because it was a day where exclusively we had small caps and, a lot of plays. We had over here supply area. Previous day's area also here you can see supply, right? And then over here we had the bookmap perfect, right? So giving an exhaustion over here the move. And I shared how we traded from 440 to the target over here 350. The second one was stops. So we had tops, a high volume stop today, 20 million volume for a low float, less than 3 million. We had over here in pre-market this distribution pattern, but more, as we're explaining with Bruce, so go back over here in the recorded session. This we can say the shift between over here buyers and then over here sellers jumping in. You can see they got it down. So we don't know if this is an algo or not, but we can assume that over here somebody had really intention to push this down from 630. And the supply area on this was between 5 to 6. So here they're starting to jump in at 620, 630, 630. And we're having an average over here 565. We're writing this down. Right now it's 450. My target over here is at 4. So, like a very, very good trade, low risk trade. And then we had also over here AVXL that now I'm not covering. And we had over here at Tesla. Tesla traders, as I said, choppy. We had a JTrader rejection a few minutes ago at exactly at 193 and 75. So over here, Tesla. There's not going Tesla. Over here, Tesla. We had a JLN rejection over here. Over here, 193 and 75. Over here, we have the rejection of this trend line. So if we can break this open level, this will unwind. Otherwise, no trade for the day. The A plus setup was over here this morning on this fake breakdown that we saw over here with Bookmap giving the entry here exactly over here for that push to the upside. All right, traders. So this is for the day. Any questions?
Let's see here. No, I think we're good. In YouTube, get your questions in, guys. And I think we're also good here in Discord. Yep. So just to follow up. So guys, if you like this kind of webinar, please subscribe to the channel. And here in YouTube, hit the like button. This helps us quite a bit. We're able to have these webinars due to the popularity. You guys like these, so we want to support you. Please support us. Subscribe and hit the like button there. If you want to try Bookmap, this is, like I said earlier, I just wanted to cover it again. It's the last day, so 50% off. Just go to bookmap.com and you can get click on that hero image in the front there. This will take you to the landing page, bookmap.com/Black Friday. 50% off on the first month, so this is your time to try it. See if you like it, see if this is something that works for you. It also works for the upgrade, so you can try Global or Global Plus if you have a different version, a lower version. Give it a shot, see if you like it, and you're really not going to be risking much for that. So other than that, Joseph, you have the last word. Anything that you wanted to cover?
No, I think we cover everything. So if you need help, traders, just reach out to me and Bruce. Again, thank you for the opportunity here to share my work. Thank you, Bookmap. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Joseph. Thank you.